Class is in session. How's everybody doing? It's your boy, Mr. P, back in the building. Time to educate the people. You know, it's Monday. Every Monday, we educate the people. So, let's get it started. So, as you can see, episode 2, your boy is back, with a little change up, as you can see. I wanted to show y'all, I told you I was nerdy, so I had to show you guys in the background. It's over here on this side. But, back with the teacher fit, you know how it goes. But let's jump right into it. All right. So, this episode, we're going to talk about how, how one goes into teaching, why I got into teaching, coming from someone with an IT background, how I decided, hey, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to go into teaching. And I know a lot of you probably coming from different areas. Some of you, you work retail, you've been in, different fields, nursing, all that, anywhere. Just know you could be a teacher. Period. Right? So, oh yeah, also a new chair in the back, so elevate things, simple upgrades, have the lights going, look at a little production value in this. Yes, sir. Anyway, so for those who are interested, let's start it off. For those who are interested in teaching, there are so many programs, and I'm working on a video right now, actually, for y'all, how to, teaching programs, how to get into teaching, the whole steps, how to get through. So be on the lookout for that. But as well, you got to take that leap. If you want to teach, go ahead and do it. You know why I say go ahead and do it? Because a lot of you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom to offer, right? And these kids can really benefit from your experience and what you've been through. So, but I'll give you a little synopsis of my background. So, your boy, I went to school, did the whole college thing. Because they told you go to college, you're going to get you're going to come out and get a great job. You're going to make X amount of money. You don't have to worry about paying back debt. You'll be able to survive. First off, that's a lie. Let's keep it 100% cap. A lot of us are in debt right now. A lot of us are struggling. A lot of us are paying back our loans and still living at home. Me, no. I have my own place. But for those who are, keep trucking. Pay your debt down. Do what you enjoy. Keep at it. All right? But, yeah, so I did the whole, I graduated with a bachelor's in business administration with project management. Right? You're thinking, oh, cool, he got a business degree. He should be making money. Yeah, but since I had a kind of an IT background, and I'll talk more about my college experience and, like, the school system, how it set me up for success and failures. I'll talk about that in another video. But your boy was coming from, with a business degree. So I ended up getting a job at this company. It was, SHI. I think, I don't remember the name anymore. It was years ago. But, yeah, I worked there, did IT, did more stuff like, providing, the company I was working under was Boeing, provided them with IT solutions and things like that. And in the corporate field, you learn, in corporate America, let me say this straight off. School does not prepare you for corporate America. It does not. And the only thing that it prepares you for is how to be a good listener, in the sense of you follow directions. Other than that, school does not prepare you how to send a proper email, how to, address certain situations, how to deal with confrontation. School does not prepare you for that. So that's why, I hate to shamelessly plug the channel, but we're going to talk about corporate etiquette on this channel because that's education. But yeah, college doesn't prepare you for that either. All right. So your boy was working in the IT field. I would work from 11 to 7. Yep. Yeah, some of you are like, oh, you guys wake up late. No, it's terrible. It is terrible to wake up late and go to work till 7 o'clock at night. You miss out, you miss happy hour, you miss a lot of things. But that's besides the point. So I was working IT, processing orders for Boeing, getting them their IT needs, providing IT solutions all around. Teammates were great. I can't really complain. But it wasn't fulfilling. When some of you are probably at a job that you're not enjoying. You're there because it pays the bills, but you're miserable. You're not enjoying it. You're not having a good time. Why are you still there? In today's society where we can create and build a career from anything, why do you subject yourself to this? And that I want you to think about it. I've for a while, and we'll focus on that later. But yeah, I felt like I wasn't being fulfilled. I was supplying these people with their IT needs. I love technology. I love computers. I love all that kind of stuff, but it just wasn't hitting for me. You know what I'm saying? It felt like it wasn't good enough, right? And basically, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna try it. Maybe it's just a company. Maybe me and a company don't align. So I went to another company. Then I tried CDW, which was the company SHI's competitor. It was great. People are amazing, phenomenal people. Shouts out to CDW. If you're ever in Jersey and you need your tech needs, go to CDW for real, for real. They're really great people. They're really awesome, and they'll treat you right. I'll give you that. Shout out to my boy Jalen. If you need to see your CDW needs, hit my boy Jalen. He legit. He legit. Um, but yeah, and I tried it out, and then I started realizing like, no, this wasn't it either. It just the IT field wasn't for me. Like and that one I got to start from scratch, build my own bucket business, all that good stuff, and the pay was great, you know, and I was enjoying it, and there was so much support, so much knowledge I gained, but it just wasn't hitting right. It didn't feel right to me. Like I was bored. Honestly, boredom. I was bored. Calling and talking to businesses about their IT needs gets boring. Now, and I'm not saying there's some people who could do that all day and be fine, but for me, I couldn't do it. But so I said, you know what? Let me make a career change again. So then I ended up getting a position at Mindlands in Union, New Jersey, recruiting company. Phenomenal company. Great people. Very, very competitive scene, right? Um, and I was a recruiter. I recruited for tech businesses. I said maybe I'm not the one to provide a solution, but maybe I can find a person who can, because I saw traits of great people who can provide solutions. So I went ahead and did that. So I went and did that, and your boy, I was good at it, making the phone calls, screening applicants. That's why it was easy for me to write resumes. That's why it's easy for me to read a resume and tell you what you need. That's why the skills that I learned there translate into teaching, right? Because I was reading resumes, I was calling people, letting them know about job positions. You know what I'm saying? So I can read people. I can have conversations. Working at the recruiting firm taught me how to talk to people, how to, gauge people's knowledge, and how to test people's knowledge. So you can say, in a way, it was kind of pushing me towards being kind of like an educator. Because I would also tell people, like, hey, when you go in the interview, let me give you some tips, X, Y, and Z. Maybe, talk about your projects that you've done. Maybe talk about this. Sell yourself. That's why it's easy for me to tell people how to spruce up themselves. And that's why I'm going to bring that to the channel. So, you know, so I worked there for a while. And then, then the feeling of not being fulfilled started setting in. Because I felt like, man, if only I could have met these people when they're younger and been a better influence, maybe some of them would turn out better. Like, their resume would have been much more stacked. Like, their opportunities would have been better. And then, out of nowhere, I remember I applied for Teach for America. For those of you who don't know, Teach for America is a program where you go to any state in America that needs teachers, and basically you fund your own masters or whatever. If the place needs masters, if it needs whatever it needs, you're gonna fund it, be able to, get a license and become a teacher. A lot of you may have seen them in your schools. Teach for America is pretty big, and like I said, more videos will come when I discuss Teach for America versus the program I'm in. So I applied. I went to the whole interview thing or whatever, and I didn't get in. I made it all the way to the interview process, went in, and the subjects I chose were, like, I wanted to teach history and business. Because, again, I have a business background, and history because I love history, and I'm really knowledgeable about things like that. But I didn't get in. And, I remember when I came home that day, I was defeated. I felt like, what am I going to do? I felt like lost. And let me say this for those of you who feel lost in your job or lost in your career choice. It's at your lowest point that you find out who you really are. You needed to get to that point. And you know why I say you needed to get to that point? Because you needed to truly understand what you wanted out of life. And in that moment, I've realized I didn't want to work for anyone forever. But I also realized that the happiest time of my life is when I was tutoring and teaching others. So not being able to get into Teach for America crushed me. Why? Because the dreams and the aspirations I had when I thought about getting in, because I put my all into that interview, because you have to do first is a phone interview, then you go in and you do a mock lesson plan. I did my lesson plan on budgeting, how to create a successful budget, because I felt like we don't teach that enough in school. Because trust me, how much of you would have wished you learned how to budget properly before you went to college? I know I would have. Sorry. So, yeah, so my thing was budgeting. And they loved the lesson. And I guess, like, the places I chose to go to D.C., I chose Texas, and I chose, I think somewhere out west, like Chicago, to want to go teach. Because I wanted to teach in a predominantly black African American black area, because being a black male, I wanted to be a role model to the young black people, because I feel like we don't have enough in the school system, right? So I go and I find out I didn't make it, crushed, went home, was thoroughly depressed. I had to question my existence. Why am I doing this? Why am I here in this world if I can't even succeed at the one thing I want? And that is when you realize that it's okay. You're not always going to succeed. You're not always going to be great. But that's fine. You can't give up. And you have to have faith. I don't know whatever deity you believe in, whatever you have faith in, you can't give up. You really can't give up. Right? So, your boy, distraught, whatever. The next day at work, I get an email, Urban Teachers. Hey, Mr. Pyle, we see, we would like you to apply to our program. And matter of fact, what I will do for you guys is I'll pull up the exact email, because I want to show you guys that there's proof in the madness. And there's proof in the madness. I should have had it pulled up, but again, I'm learning. This is a new thing. But we all learning together. All right, yeah. Sorry about that, y'all. Had a little tizzy. Um, but yeah, I guess showing the email messed it up or whatever. But don't worry, I'm gonna clip the first video and this video together. But anyway, like I was saying, so yeah, Urban Teachers. Let me pick up right where I left off. So Urban Teachers, they reached out to me. I was excited because I was given the opportunity to teach. Not only that, I was getting a master's from Johns Hopkins University. And for those of you who don't know, that's like really one of those top education schools in the nation. So I said, hey, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to do it. And I did it. And I remember quitting and leaving the job, the Minelands job I was working in. Because it had been like 6 months. Because the program started in June. So I would have to travel all the way down to D.C., which I'm currently in right now. So I was able to move back to D.C. And let me tell you, like, I was so ecstatic because in my mind, I was going to be able to impact the next generation in a more personal level by being an educator. And like, as you guys know, if you watch the first video, that's one of my biggest things, being a black male role model. Because, like, my father was one. And I have a lot of great black men in my life who showed me what it meant to be a man, but also taught me how to be giving back to the younger generation, sharing my knowledge. My rule is you don't acquire knowledge for yourself. You acquire knowledge to share with everybody else. You acquire knowledge to share with the people. You don't keep it for yourself. Those who keep knowledge for themselves it doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. So always share your knowledge. If you got to charge for it, charge for it. But I'm more of a giving it away for free because the kids need it. All right. So, you know, it's just weird coming from the IT field. I'm telling y'all, like, just providing IT solutions and just being someone who took care of IT needs. It's for some people it's their thing, but for me it wasn't. And I should have known it wasn't going to be for me. And that's why I need some of y'all to live in y'all truths. Like, somewhere's not doing you justice. Why you staying? Leave. There are so many opportunities out here in this world. So many programs. For my teachers, for those thinking about teaching, you have urban teachers. They will help you. They'll teach you how to be an effective teacher. They'll teach you how to lesson plan. They'll get you coaching. They'll help you get into school. There's a lot of programs. You got Teach for America. You have Relay for Teachers. You can check in your state alone. I promise you, you can find certain teaching programs in your state, and some will take you out of state. And I say this to all my students, and I hope they remember it because side note before I say that, I teach elementary early elementary education. That goes from pre-K 4 all the way to 5th grade, sometimes 6th. Right? And I always tell them, if you get a chance to leave your neighborhood and go to college, take it. Do not stay in your college. Do not stay home when you go to college. Leave and go to another state and become independent. Learn how to live on your own. Get away from mommy and daddy and go grow on your own. Go camps that are not in the same state. Go places. Learn the world. Because you realize the bubble that you're living in and the opportunities that you may see are not truly your only opportunities. So that's just a tip for y'all. Take that with a grain of salt. Sorry. But yeah. So urban teachers, hooked your boy up with the teaching. I went during the summer of June. They had summer session where they taught us, the basics. We had a race and culture class. We had an English class. We had reading. We had, everything that we needed to be able to teach a student. We learned how to teach younger kids because again, they have three different programs. They have an early elementary education, like I said, which is pre-K, all the way pre-K 3 all the way to 6th grade. You have secondary ELA, which is where you teach middle school and high school, and then you have a secondary math, which you teach. 6th grade to high school as well. Middle school to high school, sorry. So, they taught us how to teach young students. And I'm telling you, I met some of my best, the best people at this program. And, to this day, we do everything together still. Shouts out to y'all. I know who y'all are, my bros. They'll be on the show, too, because they're also educators. One will segment the clothing part of the videos. One will do they each will be a part of this channel because it's the Educator Academy. You can't just learn from one teacher. You need them all. So trust me, you're going to be learning a lot from these great men. And they're they got us prepared for the world. They got us prepared for teaching. Teaching is not easy. It's a thankless, selfless job, and I enjoy every day of it. Granted, there's moments where I'm like, why am I doing this? And that's only not because of students and the content. It's because of the lack of resources and the lack of accountability from parents. So parents, I'm always say this in every video, y'all need to do better. Y'all make it too hard for teachers. Honestly, if a teacher's trying to educate you on your child, we know the signs. We learn. We're educated. We spent years getting a degree for this. Give us our respect. But besides all that, there's some parents I love to death. They're great. Some parents are amazing. They'll ride or die for you. But most parents don't. So so I got into urban teachers and things like that. And my teaching experience has been great. And it has its ups and downs. Let me say that because there was moments where I was like, yo, this can't be real life. Because I'm telling you, people, there's stories these kids, the story of some kids, man, will break your heart. Like, it hurts. Like, for all you guys who go about your day on your social media, only focus on your life and the people around you, let me tell y'all something. You don't truly value human life until you teach. And I say that with this in mind. When you teach, you see the world for what it really is. Y'all don't understand. These kids are the next generation. They're going to be the doctors, the lawyers, the teachers, the scientists. And if we're not providing them with the resources to be successful, what do you expect them to do for us? I'll give you a minute. What do y'all expect them to do when you're defunding the schools? What happened? Where's our funding? Where's all our stuff? I was teaching at a school in D.C., Mountain Elementary. Phenomenal school. Great teachers. These teachers, they bust their ass. All the teachers at that school bust their ass for these kids. They go out of their way for these kids. And it sucks that they don't get enough resources or enough accolades for all the hard work they put in. All teachers in D.C. work hard. And especially those in Southeast, I'm telling you, a year alone opened my eyes to my privilege. Yes, I have privilege. As a black male, I have privilege. Because you know why? My parents, they worked their ass off to provide a life for me and my brothers and sisters, right? Like I said, I grew up in Jersey. I didn't really, aside from certain emotional values that were necessary that I feel like we didn't get, other than that, our parents provided majority of what we needed, right? And when I see some of these kids coming to school, haven't eaten for 2 days, haven't slept, they haven't slept for 3 days. They don't have certain the necessities that a parent's supposed to provide, because at the end of the day, that child did not ask to be born. You brought them into this world. These kids are suffering at an early age, and they're dealing with trauma. Come on, like it hurts. And then, you know how much times I had to check my own privilege? How much times I had to check my own, because I had parents who understood education was important, who didn't play no games with me. Some of these kids are going from home to home. Some of those same kids that are demonized on TV don't even have a bed to sleep on. And as a teacher, I saw all of this. You know what that did to me? That changes your whole perspective of life. It changes everything. Because as an educator, you have to just sit there and teach them. And the thing is, yes, you can get close and, help them. But the laws and the safety of yourself prevent you from doing what is necessary. Right? And my teaching experience has taught me anything is the kids need more. Kids need more. We have to do better. America, wake up. We got to do better. Wake up. We need to do better. Why are we funding military operations? Maybe if we funded schools more and educated our people on how to, properly disseminate an argument, or how to properly advocate and provide resources for everyone, maybe we wouldn't need to be fighting wars for that shit. I don't know. That's just a thought. That's just an educated thought. All I'm saying is, for those coming into teaching, I need you to understand that you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days. Don't come here thinking you're going to save kids, because you can't save anyone if you can't save yourself. You're here to provide hope. That's what I want you to do when you come here. And I'm saying this directly more to minority counterparts. The reason why I'm saying this is because a lot of them come into this field, and we're going to have a big discussion about that, and I'm going to bring somebody on who is of that persuasion. Because I need y'all to understand that a lot of them come to be saviors, and you can't save nobody. If you can't relate to these children, you can't save them. right? Even your own kind, you cannot save them. What you can do is show them, provide for them, guide them. Do not save them. They're not helpless. They are not weak. These kids are not weak. Trust me, these kids know more than me, and they're younger than me. These kids know how to survive. They've been surviving. They don't need saving. They need education. They need guidance. They need direction and stability. So maybe if we provided more resources to help with that kind of, to help them overcome trauma, maybe we can provide stability. If we have more resources, we can help provide so much more for them instead of just giving them enough to survive. They have been surviving their whole life, and they are not victims. You know why I say that? Because victims, they stay in that state. These kids are fighters. My students are fighters. I see them fight every day to learn them the material, to do better, to be better. And just like I expect that from them, they expect it from me. So every day I'm coming in with a new lesson, new technology, new ways for them to learn. Why? Because they need that. Yes, they need that. They don't need you to come in there and save them. They need you to come in here and educate them and give them guidance so that they can provide a better future for themselves and their families. All right? So that's what I've learned as a teacher in my teaching experience. And I've only been teaching for 2-3 years. Well, technically 3-4 years in early education. And there's still much more that I'm learning. And this is a journey. You guys are on a journey with me. We're going to see the trials and tribulations of education. The trials and tribulations of being a black man in education. Because trust me, being that I am a black man in education, it's not easy. So for those, screaming, you're a man, it should be, no, that doesn't matter. Because I know a lot of people, when they see me walk in the door and I say, hi, my name is Mr. Powell, I'm the teacher, they second guess it, like, how can he teach a kid? He's a man. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna get really spicy with that. Again, that's the stuff we're gonna do panels for. And I implore you, YouTube, the people of YouTube, I would love y'all to be a part of it. So I want y'all to stay tuned in. And like I said, I don't like to keep these videos long. Just simple 30 minutes. 30 minutes of wisdom. 30 minutes of guidance. Like I said, be on the lookout for videos. People, I got a list of things I need to get for y'all. That's the mind of an educator. I'm going to educate the people. Because at the end of the day, when y'all are educated, we all win. You see how sometimes it took me time to figure out that I needed to be in education? My journey was not simple. I didn't just go to school for education. No. I had to go through crossroads, pathways, alleyways, tunnels, bridges, everything to get to education. But I did it. And now I can sit here and tell y'all, if you want to get an education, hit me up. If you need help, you need resume tips, you need lesson plan tips, anything. Alone, we're gonna be talking about how to get grants. I'm gonna be talking about what to wear in the workplace, the do's and don'ts of a new teacher, lesson planning, how to communicate with parents, because we all know that's a big thing. How to apply to grad school, to figure out what kind of teacher you are, right? Technology help, financial aid to help pay off those loans, because as great as teaching is, depending where you teach, you ain't gonna get paid great. But we're gonna do all that. I'm gonna make videos for y'all. Right? But I want y'all to understand these podcasts and these videos I'm making are not just so I could blow up in this. No, because I want to make awareness for education that we need more resources. And I hope to use this channel as a guiding point to help those who are curious about education to get into it, but also for those to understand that at the end of the day, without exposure, we can't make a change. And I want to make a change the right way. I want to help our kids. The future. They're our future. No longer children, the future. I want to make sure the future is bright. I want to give them hope. I want to make sure they don't have nothing to worry about. And the way I do that is by educating the people who teach them. Because people don't understand. As a teacher, I have more influence on your kid than you realize. Because even though you could tell your kid that they suck, or you could tell your kids anything, the moment they walk into my classroom and I hype them up and I make them feel great, they're going to remember that for the rest of their life. We all remember a teacher who changed our life. And yeah, our speeches, we talk about parents and stuff like that because we're obligated. But do you ever realize that how there's always that talk of this one teacher that changed my future, that changed my life? Because teachers were influential. We educate the next generation. So if you want the next generation to be successful, make sure you're investing in what matters. Invest in the school system. Invest in your kids' PTA meetings. Go to your school. Find out their policies. Challenge your teachers. Challenge your principals. Challenge them all. Superintendent, everybody, to do better for your children. Because as a teacher and seeing it firsthand, I'm going to help y'all get there. I'm going to teach y'all what y'all need to do. Because that's how I educate. All right? So like I said, I don't be keeping these videos too long. I ain't going to stress y'all out. All right? But all I'm saying is, it doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't matter what field you're in. It doesn't matter what degree or major you have. If you have a desire to help children, to see them grow, to help the future, and you're willing to work hard, plan, and go through some hardships, then teaching is for you. Welcome to teaching. Hello. Bing, bing, bing. Teaching is for you. And if you need a video to, persuade you, then you're doing it wrong. You should want to do it because it's your passion. Have a passion for it. Have a passion. I want to see people succeed. Okay? Because, like I said, some of y'all working these 9-to-5 jobs. Y'all miserable as hell. But y'all don't want to take that leap. And even though you're interested, you don't take it. Take the leap. I tell all my students, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And for those who watch The Office, my boy Michael Scott said that. So take that shot. Take that chance. Jump into teaching. Why don't you? But only if you're passionate. Don't come here thinking you're going to save nobody. Don't come here thinking you're about to freedom riders, because that's all hyper. That's like 1% of chance happening. That's not realistic. Realistic is, you're going to come home some days, you're going to be burnt out. You're going to come home and you're going to wish you could just quit. You're going to come home and you're going to have some victories. But the teachers who do the best are the ones who listen to feedback, criticism, and push. So if you do that, don't worry. You're going to be successful. But like I said, that's all the time we have. But for tonight's homework, I want you to think about this. What's keeping you back from being a teacher? Is it your career? Is it your fear? Is it the lack of passion? Or is it the lack of information? That's your homework for tonight. And I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a good afternoon. Class dismissed.